Welcome back to the Noble Apartment Cup, where Dave and I are gearing up for our third set of the day. It's going to be Vinchester versus DauT. Great to get a word from DauT ahead of this matchup, and I do want to discuss a couple of his answers there, but before that I want to prime it with the idea that there's been a bit of a format shift from NACs of old, Nilly Apartment Cups of old, to here, where only 6 out of 10 players will qualify for the playoffs versus 8 in previous iterations. And I don't want that to go unnoticed in terms of the importance of some of these earlier group stage matches, because dropping just 2 sets could ultimately spell disaster and mean you're outside the top 6.
And I think if you look at previous iterations, DauT comfortably got into the 7th, 8th category in most of them. So, you know, being only 6 now, you're kind of on the edge. So DauT maybe needs to go for some of those strategies as we make our way into the draft here. We've got DauT with the first pick, Mongols. Vinchester with the first pick, Humans.
Yeah, quite an interesting one. And of course, we will be kicking things off on a Citadel for game 1, as well as High Tides, Bypass, Bedouins, and Arabia being available for each of our players. So a couple hybrid maps, but most of our action will take place on land. And ultimately, as DauT was very much talking about, planning and developing strategies for this tournament can be difficult, largely because of those 10 admin bans. So as much as you might have confidence in a certain civ pick on a certain map, it could just be disappeared from you in a moment.
Yeah, exactly. And you only get the 1 civ pick before all the random bans come in. Plus, your opponent has 4 bans, so if they've seen your strat again, they can just instantly neutralize it. So most of your strategies need to be a little bit more adaptive, and you need to cook up like 5 or 6 strats for every single map. So it makes it really, really difficult. I love the fact that we have Bypass here for DauT and Turks as well. Aztecs could be a potential there for a monk push. So kind of different approach here for DauT than we've seen from some of the other players, but we also have civs like Spanish and Cumans on the other side for Vinchester.
Yeah, so a couple of civs that we haven't seen too much action from throughout this tournament. And ultimately, I'm hoping that DauT has maybe taken a lesson from one of his own answers there, where he says, I usually hide strats until I'm out of the tournament. Maybe we should use those strats before we're out of the tournament.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Also, I need to point out, the first map is Citadel. Now, earlier on, I watched an insane game between ACCM and Vinchester on Citadel. It went late. ACCM had the middle. Vinchester was raiding everywhere. And Vinchester, after the game, was like, how could I not kill you? Like, how did you have eco? And I told him, you know the trees in the middle have 500 wood on each of them. And he said, what?
Load the maps. Check the maps.
So now, you know, if he manages to rat his way to victory on the middle in Citadel with those 500 wood trees, like, I take full credit for that. And I told him, I'm like, I'm going to take full credit for any win you get on this map.
I think you're very deserving of that credit. And away we go with our match countdown into game number 1. On to Citadel. It's Vinchester versus DauT. Vinchester over here in the red, DauT in the blue. It's looking like Byzantines versus Mongols.
Byzantines, Mongols. So the Mongols can get up really, really quickly to pressure the water, which would be really, really good. However, the Byzantines should have the advantage in taking back that water and controlling it long term. So I'll be interested to see how DauT approaches this one with the Mongols. He is a little bit later to the dock. He's only sending 1 villager forward. Vinchester sends 2, so they won't die to the scout immediately.
Yeah, we've had a number of dockville shenanigans throughout this tournament. Unfortunate losses of villagers early, so we've got the walling on the one side.
It's hard to keep up on 9 vills.
It's so difficult.
Like, you're doing so much stuff right off the bat. On standard 3 vill, you send the dock villager up. That's the only thing you're focused on. I'm not losing this. 9 villagers, there's a lot more going on.
It is incredible how even a small change like that, and of course, these aren't the 10 best players in the world, but you make minor changes to the flow of the game. And it requires a totally different, set of focus, like you're saying. We got to track the eyes. Where are we at any given moment? I already see 500 food in the bank and spent on feudal age there for DauT. So a quick uptime. Not really surprised, though, for Mongols. With that quick food income.
The food almost comes in too quick. You don't know what to do with the vills. Like right here where he's chopping 3 straggler trees with 8 villagers, 9 villagers at the moment. Now, that's probably part of his build because my man doesn't have a lumber camp yet. I don't think. He does have a lumber camp. Never mind. I was so deep into that. I thought he had like
I liked where you were going. Notably, he did skip Loom again. Very safe to do because he will be the first up. But that's going to rather speed up his time to the next stage that much more and allow him to get aggressive on the water and possibly wrestle control before Vinch even has an opportunity to respond. Second lumber camp going now for Vinchester here in the south as well.
Okay, so Vinchester looking like he wants to really, really prioritize water. If you're going 2 lumber camps, if you have that much on wood after you click up, he's probably going to go for fire galleys because he is the Byzantines. DauT is actually sending 3 villagers over to the gold, so... Or no, 2 villagers over to the gold. So is it just like a couple fire galleys to make him interested and then a shift onto land?
Then it's an interesting idea. I would, it goes counter to what I would have thought, being first up, maybe just overwhelm, get full water control. But it might just be to pester and annoy, understanding that over the long term, I'm probably likely to lose that battle to the Byzantines and get the transition onto land.
Vinchester's not even interested in overly contesting water, though. He's going to make a couple. But you can see he's not making that second dock. He's going for the barracks first with the 2 villagers. So he's expecting full land aggression from Mongols. He's not he's not going to fall for the trap of, I control water, so I'm going to win the game. If you die on land, you're going to have some big problems.
Yeah, well, as Vinchester reaches the feudal age, the first fire galley is about to pop out of the dock here for DauT. We'll see him go forward and look to harass the fishing ships as the secondary military buildings come down. And yeah, it might be a much more major focus on land for each of these players, with just a couple of fishing ships bringing in that extra food.
Yeah, I mean, both those fishing ships might go down too. There's a fire galley out there from DauT really, really early. The fire galley is coming out in defense, and there's another fire galley on the way from DauT. So I think he's got the 2 vills on gold just to keep fire galleys coming out. And he snipes 1 fishing ship. Otherwise, it's just going to be spear skirm against Byzantines. That is a bold approach, DauT.
Yeah, not one that you would typically recommend against a civ that has a bonus in creating those exact.
What are we going to do?
units.
We're going to do fires, we're going to do spears, and we're going to do skirms. Hear me out. Against Byzantines.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to test the theory that Byzantines is better at all of these things.
Let's
really confirm that they're actually good at all of these things.
He's got a plan, though. We know he's got a plan. And the archers are now coming in. So he has 1 fire galley left. He's going to try and defend his fish for as long as possible. Spear skirm, and now the archers are coming out still. Where is your advantage coming as Mongols? You have a couple 100 extra res collected from the hunt earlier.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you did get rid of those 2 fishing ships. So even if you do end up losing the 2 of your own on water, you've brought it to kind of a null situation.
Yeah.
And then done a decent job of defending so far on land. Let's see how many archers come out, and if we can get fletching in, then all of a sudden there is a threat towards maybe some of those lumberjacks in the south.
I just wonder, like, did he think he was going to get a bigger advantage, timing window? Did he think Vinchester would invest more onto water? I'm wondering why the Mongols here. Still.
Well, time will tell in terms of, exactly what he's thinking here. Microing down the scout, that's fantastic. Now just has to deal with the remaining spear, so that way the scout can do work on the skirmishers. This is DauT.
Damn,
DauT came
dude.
to play today.
Damn, dude. He just ran circles around Vinchester there with the scout and the 2 archers, the skirmisher. We've got a live camo. It is actually him.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing micro there from DauT. He can pull it out when he needs it. And he even pulls the scout away in time. And look at the numbers here. DauT has more, so he's going to keep Vinchester penned in. Vinchester needs to keep that area under his control because the berries are there. So he's going to go for the wall in front. And he's going to try and keep the units coming out to defend against this pressure from DauT. Really good use of the scout.
Transitioning now fully onto skirms, but having a small numbers advantage. I do like the walling that Vinch has already gone for. And didn't get that second fishing ship. There's the fletching we were looking for those couple archers. And if Vinch isn't aware of it and they find their way looping around the back of the base,
it could be a problem.
Could be a big issue.
We also saw Vinch wall off that other pathway to the middle there with just some palisades early. He was telling me that he's been punished by that. He actually had a bugged version one game where that didn't exist on his side, the pathway. And he's like, no, play on. I like that.
Yeah, for real.
He can't get raided from it, right? Like, he likes the fact that it isn't there. Anyway, the archers come in from DauT. The blacksmith is on the way from Vinchester. That's not going to be denied. So, a question here whether he goes for fletching or the armor. I think probably fletching.
Yeah, not going to be denied, but definitely the upgrades will be delayed as compared to what DauT has brought in. You were right, fletching is going to come in first, but he's working against the fletching of DauT at the moment. The scout does finally go down, so less of an option against those skirmishers that Vinchester has, chasing DauT away. Things start to equalize a little bit here. We see 34 apiece when it comes to the Vil counts. However, the stable has just been dropped now here for the Mongol player.
DauT's done a great job. DauT has done a great job, and it hasn't been just the Civ advantage. It has been his micro early against Vinchester. We don't say this often, but DauT's early micro was the difference maker, and it's the reason that Vinchester is on the chase.
Exactly. I would say it's almost always a rarity that in similar compositions you would look down at KD and see DauT in the lead.
Yeah,
a player like
I don't know how long it's going to last because Vinchester's starting to heat up.
He is starting to heat up.
And he's adding in the fish. But DauT is the first one to go for the stable. Right, Vinchester is on heavy numbers of skirmishers, and DauT still has some range units to take care of those spearmen. So things are kind of growing in his direction, but now the full wall is almost complete from Vinch, and the market is going up.
Yeah, and I wonder if Vinch is even aware that that stable has gone down, because his walls are taking him further off to the right. He's dropping a market at the moment, so no stable for himself
to deal with.
I think he knows.
He's got town watch with Byzantines.
That's
true.
He
knew maybe about the stable. I mean, he's going to know now. The scouts are coming in, and that's a denied market, so he'll need to rebuild that somewhere else. He builds it a little further back, and the skirmishers are on the run. And again, it's DauT dictating the pace of play right now. However, critically, Vinchester has been able to add fish behind, so he will have additional eco over DauT.
Yeah, well, that said, take a look at the food count over there for DauT. Even while producing 3 extra scouts, he's got 19 on food and already making his way towards those Castle Age resources. Vinchester could use the market, though, with 11 on gold to maybe equalize a bit, and he does just that, even selling his stone to try and get up to that all-important 800 food count
Sick
to get the Castle Age click.
Really, really sick. No horse color. That's going to hurt.
That is going to hurt.
Oh, that's going to hurt in Castle Age. He's about to click up soon. He's still got the scouts. He's still got the archers. He's got some skirmishers in there. Vinchester clicks up first. DauT should be right behind him. And if Vinchester doesn't clear this army, he's going to have big problems. If he gets too out of position with his spearmen or his skirmishers, that gold is suddenly threatened.
Yeah, got to have those spears in position to work against the scouts. DauT doing a great job of keeping the scout HP high, using them to knock down the health of the skirmishers. Vinchester looking for the trades and is able to keep that gold safe for the time being. But the entire game has been played on this side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. And DauT is still 600 resources collected ahead. So it gives you an idea of some of the efficiency problems with walling and whatnot that Vinchester has had. Also the Mongol hunt coming into play earlier, maybe faster farms for DauT. I mean, it's been a really, really nice game from him so far. Gets horse collar before the next round of farms come in, which is good timing, all things considered. And the upgrades coming in for his cavalry. He's got enough resources in the bank to probably sneak in crossbow as well.
Yeah, crucially, both players managing to get those extra eco upgrades in just on their way to the Castle Age. Bloodlines for one, archer armor for the other.
Okay, so the scouts running away now. Still on this side of the map.
Yeah.
This side of the citadel. And DauT has free access to the middle if he wants to go there. Remember, there's a lot of stone, there's a lot of wood, there's a lot of berries, there's a lot of everything.
And I think the important thing right now, to contrast the series yesterday against TheViper, is we're playing DauT's game right now.
Yep.
Right? Yesterday, he was playing Viper's game most of the time. And this is exactly the style of game that DauT wants to play, where he's got some map control, he's the one hitting certain timings and forcing fights on his terms.
Yeah, and it's a good fight. The Spearman can't catch up. He's running low on range units, but he will clear a lot of those skirmishers, and he's able to get out alive with the scouts. He's almost in Castle Age, so he wants to probably make a switch into something else anyway. But Vinchester is there a little bit earlier. I'm curious what Vinchester wants to go for. Is it just a couple camels, and then he's slowly bringing in the stone for a second TC? Also some monks being added in?
Yeah, interesting, right? Selling off the stone to get to Castle Age that much quicker, but definitely recouping some of that stone now to maybe give himself the opportunity to boom up behind some of this forward aggression. With being the first one to produce a knight, we may actually see the camera cross the midpoint of the map over here into DauT's base. But we've already got Lancers on the field as well.
Yeah, Vinchester suddenly finding himself in a position to provide a little bit of pressure. So that's really, really nice from Vinch. The engagements didn't go great for him early, but he stepped it up, as DauT is doing with the Step Lancers now, and the camels are coming in, the skirmishers are coming in, no crossbow switch available for DauT. He lost all of those units. The Step Lancers will clear the skirms, but we still have cheap camels for Vinchester, and we're going to have some monks. Still, lots of Step Lancers on the field here for DauT.
Yeah, overall, a very solid trade for DauT, even against those camels, right? Camels in small numbers are going to get overwhelmed by that, little ounce of range that the Step Lancers have. Good raid, though, here with the first knight that was produced, just forcing DauT to go back, manage his economy a little bit. Monks are out onto the field for both players as well, so we're looking for relics, we're looking for conversions. But the micro here for DauT, it's been phenomenal. And once again, he's still dictating largely the pace of this game.
Okay, so 2 stable production, I believe, from the Byzantines. Is it 2 stable? Yeah, it's 2 stable production here.
2 for both, I believe.
Yeah, and the Step Lancers are coming out quite quickly as well. DauT at 9 Step Lancers, 2 monks. Mongol monks are not great. They're actually some of the worst monks in the game. But they have enough in the Castle Age. DauT tries to get greedy and go for that relic. Might get away with the monks.
Yeah, gets spotted. He's going to go for the conversion. We have another monk coming in, though, for Vinch. Also looking to lock down a conversion. Oh, and Vinch will be lucky enough to steal one of those Lancers away. However, 3 camels go down. That's the price he'll pay. Relic picked up, though, and on the way back home, we'll see if DauT can find a way to snipe that monk. Run to the water!
He's trying to save it. He's going to go on the other side of the gold. Villager also sneaking his way across to that middle area. DauT comes in, snags the monk, but he's going to sacrifice the Step Lancer to do it. And he's trying to convert back his Step Lancer that Vinchester got before. Also unable, I think, to convert another camel, so conversions have not gone his way yet. And he loses.
Oh my goodness.
One.
That's going to be a little bit of a tilter. I mean, it was a great delete by Vinch right before the convert would have come through, and then he gets a quick conversion of his own, sends DauT running back home with just 4 Step Lancers now grouped up. More monks, though, still on the field, and we're starting to see those expansions of the economy, each player reaching out to the 3rd TC to get those booms underway.
It's interesting how both of them have decided not to TC that middle area. And I wonder what Vinchester is going to do with that villager in the middle. Right now he's just examining the relic, but I'd love to see like some stone walls, because he's got extra stone. You stonewall the middle crossing, you stonewall the crossing to DauT side. And then you try and TC it like he's doing right now. But I think you got to stonewall first. He's just going to make it with 1 vill.
I like it. I mean, I like it only because it seems the focus for both players is so locked in this relic battle right now that you just presume DauT isn't going to send anything that way. But of course, it is a massive risk. If DauT were to send just a single Step Lancer, could deny that TC altogether. Still the Knight kind of running amok in the back of his own economy, but won't find much damage as everything is well protected by the TCs. Another monk picking up a relic. So far, the relic count is just 1-0 for Vinch, having brought that first relic home just a second ago.
So you're going to be Mongols 3 TC against 4 TC Byzantines. Camels playing up against Step Lancers, and now DauT is trying to add in some Cav Archers. But I mean, this will be a tough one for DauT. He can no longer win the game in Castle Age, it feels like. It's going to have to be an Imperial Age battle, at which point you're fighting on water, you're fighting against Byzantine Siege, the more HP castles. Like, it's going to be really, really difficult for him to pull this one back. I think Vinchester's done a great job of just putting himself in an excellent situation.
Yeah, starting to suffer from the army compositions at the moment now. We're starting to see Vinchester gain a little bit more confidence and a little bit more map control as every second ticks by. Now, all that said, I do see 700 wood in the bank for DauT. I want to see that turned into another 10, 15 farms. While your opponent has gone for the 4 TCs, that does mean you have the advantage in the Imperial Age timing if you choose to take it. And like you say, that could be the one opening for him ultimately to take down the Byzantines before they scale into that utterly dominant late game monster that we know them to be.
I like this too, because Vinch is adding another range, which tells me that he probably is getting ready for like a skirmisher switch, because he's anticipating the fact that DauT will make either Mangudai or Cav Archers to combine with his Step Lancers. It's not just a full Step Lancer and a Camel. So he's going to be ready for that. See Bodkin Arrow coming in, Handcart coming in.
Even another archery range at that.
I just don't know how DauT breaks this.
Now, like, this is, I mean, it's beautifully called, right? I mean, this is that kind of game sense that you expect out of top-tier players.
500 wood on that tree that he's chopping. I take full credit for this.
There it is. Full credit for this victory. At the end of this, it'll be Dave 1.
Yeah,
DauT 0.
exactly. Exactly. Now the villagers going over to maybe wall that side too. Second armor upgrade on the way for Vinch. 83 vills against 87. Cav archers are being added in from DauT, but the ranges are there.
Yeah.
Vinchester's actually choosing to go into archers now, so might be thinking about crossbow into arbalest. That seems a little interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it does save him a little bit on the food cost, right? And if you are trying to keep up camel production at the same time, you maybe skirmishers might be a little too difficult to produce as well. But all that said, while we've been lauding DauT for his timings up to this point, I think the same should be said for Vinch, right? We saw the university go down in the back of the base, as well as now a pretty aggressive forward castle placement. And at the moment, it feels like he has the military to make it happen, to protect it.
Yeah, and another monk is going into the middle, so he's snagging relics from there too. I'd love to see like an outpost here from Vinch just to make sure that everything is okay before he goes to this castle, but the villagers are somewhere. We're still waiting for them, and they're coming forward now. DauT has cav archers there. It's a little weird position-wise for him to deny that castle, but it is still possible if Vinchester overcommits on a different area.
Yeah, very tough, like you say, and it does look like he's going to acquiesce and allow that castle to go up on a very solid hill position, towering over a number of his production buildings, even ranging that monastery eventually as well. Does as well find a nice raid onto the gold there with the camels. Not typically a great raiding unit, but if they're left uncontested, they'll definitely find some kills.
Yeah, the cav archer's busy dealing with those camels. Imperial Age on the way. Now from Vinchester, DauT's thinking about going up. Maybe he can sell some resources to go up. But going up for what? You don't have a castle yet. You can't make bombard cannons like the Byzantines can. You're not going to be able to get into Mangadai. You don't really have a great water approach against the Byzantines. Like, it feels like Vinchester has him countered on every single angle, and DauT's already 2K score behind almost.
Right. Minute behind on that Imperial Age click. 5 relics to 1, by the way. Don't discount the amount of gold that is going to be coming in there for Vinchester, already bringing in 350 more than his opponent from those relics, and that will grow minute over minute. There's the crossbow play and the camels trying to stack up together and get good damage onto the cav archers. Solid micro there here from DauT, though, forcing those camels into a choke point. In the end, though, I think Vinch is happy to take any trade that just keeps DauT in his base and doesn't dwindle his numbers too much, right?
And look at where the castle needs to go, on the opposite side of the gold, right? And it's a smart castle for the situation he's in. It's not a bad castle for the position he's in. It's just a bad castle if you were to ask him heading into the game. Like, that is just okay, I'm going to get Treb set up. Hopefully I can hold and push this back, but it's definitely not likely.
Yeah, ironically, Vinchester is in the position that DauT wants to be in as the Mongol player, right? The one with the more aggressive castle and the slight advantage in timing to the Imperial Age so that you could get the pressure with some Trebs out. This is a great find, denying 2 archery ranges for the time being, picking up a number of ill kills here on this gold. That's going to be a small win here for DauT, something he can hang his hat on. We also see him teching into that elite skirmisher, as he's 50 seconds away from the Imperial Age, but it just now arrives here for Vinchester. Immediate heavy camel, immediate chemistry, immediate bracer. That means, of course, the bombard cannons will be coming out in just a little bit.
Yeah, DauT has been really active with these cav archers, and coming forward there, denying those 2 ranges being built, I think is even better than kicking them off the gold, because Vinchester has a ton of gold. It just kind of kills the momentum just a little bit for Vinchester, right? Now he feels like he can't make that many skirms. He's just going to go heavy camel. Now he's queuing up skirms from archer ranges that are way far back. You bought yourself probably 2 minutes by pushing forward like that. So really, really solid job from DauT. Not taking away from the fact that Vinchester probably wins this game 99% of the time.
Yes.
But it was a really good effort.
Yeah, still an uphill battle, both figuratively and literally, as he's going to have to try and take down that castle, which has already produced a Treb, working away on one of his TCs. Camels also going to make quick work of that monastery, eject the 1 relic that DauT has working for him. 1,000 gold now in the bank here for Vinchester from the 5 of his own. He eventually gets more vills forward to complete these 4 extra archery ranges.
DauT's like building up the Trebs. He might decide to roll north and try to get to the middle. I think if he pushes through the center here, Vinch could even make some Dromans and kill them. Like, He just has, Vinch has every option. He's got 1,700 gold in the bank.
This is so tough, and he's fortifying his position, right, with a second castle here. This makes it impossible for DauT to find dives underneath to eliminate those trebs as long as they sit in safety. He stole his relic. DauT's forced into another absurdly defensive castle. Again, it's his only option. It's what he has to do, but it still doesn't feel good. Some camels will find some kills, but lose their lives for it. The big question, like you said, is if DauT can build up enough trebs to pack a singular punch. I think at this point you're concentrating everything into one push. But yeah, I don't know how you protect him when you're running Skirm and Cav Archer and like Skirm Camel.
Yeah, and Vinch has chemistry. We can see it by the fire on the range units. He can add bomber cannons at any point. He hasn't added them yet because he doesn't need them. But he can add those in to snipe the trebs, and DauT will need a stack of like 8 trebs. He'll need like 80 skirms. And I don't think he's ever getting to that. No, he does have 2 more trebs in the queue, and he's keeping them at home. Like, he knows what he needs to do.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Do you see what is coming in right now for Vinch?
Byzantine Paladin.
Vinch knows he's ahead, and he knows that he has a bit of breathing room to go for something wild, and it will be the Byzantine Paladins.
It's still the best unit they can make, I think, pound for pound.
True.
Either that or the Elite Cataphract. It's one of those two, even though it's missing some upgrades, right? It's missing Blast Furnace, which isn't great. It's missing Bloodlines, which isn't great. But it still kills absolutely everything that DauT's doing right now.
When your opponent has 11 Cav Archers and 32 Skirms, and even these Paladins are overkill.
You're almost in a position right now of your Vinch. You want to show off Paladin, so you don't want to kill this. Like, you want to let him have a moment so that you can suddenly arrive with Byzantine Paladin.
Absolutely. Well, here we go. DauT sees his moment, or at least feels that this is his only option. 5 trebs come forward. Turn to target, the very first of the castles.
Is he keeping those in the castle? He's keeping them in the castle so he can release them all in one go.
All right, I'm excited for this. 26 seconds and counting here for the release of the Byzantine Paladins. Of course, it does look like one of those castles might go down, just because 5 trebs pack quite the powerful punch.
5 trebs is a lot, but here comes the Paladin. We've got 15 of them, and that's all it's going to take. Here they come, charging forward. Byzantine Paladin is in, and DauT is retreating with just skirmishers. Those trebuchet that he took so long to build up are going to die. The Cav Archers can't do much against that. He is queuing Mangudai, but, I mean, he's going to be using them against the trebs, and he's going to lose his own trebs in the process.
Incredibly tough, and so while the treb trade is fairly even at the moment, it is still going to be those Paladin, you know, running amok across the map. We also see another castle being dropped in the north just for the sake of it here. Vinch not leaving anything to chance and trying to strangle his opponent, limit the map space that he has to work with.
There's more of them.
There's even more.
He's got 21 of them, 12 in the queue. Later on, if DauT manages a miraculous comeback, we're going to be looking back to this moment like, remember when Vinch went Paladin?
Yeah.
That was not good.
No, in that case, it wouldn't have been, but it's still looking good, and I think, DauT agrees with us. The GG will be called. I mean, just a near flawless game, honestly, from Vinch. Again, while he was in the defensive posture for, maybe even 50% of that game, it was exactly what he needed to do to get himself and his civ to the point where he just utterly outscales and counters his opponent in every way.
It makes you question, like, why Mongols there. Yeah. I mean, it might have been the fact that DauT didn't think he would pick Byzantines.
Right.
Maybe he thought Vinch was going for a different civ, because if you think about that civ matchup, if you think about that map, that played out exactly how you imagine it to play out.
Right.
With the only possible addition being DauT going scouts first instead of skirms.
Yeah, really tough, because even taking a look at the civ draft and trying to make sense of it, right? I'm like, well, what else would have been played on that map? Malians is arguably the only other civ, but we have High Tide in the pool.
Yeah.
And Malians is very happy to be played there.
You could play Berbers there, maybe Spanish, maybe, but like it's probably Byzantine.
It's probably Byzantines. So a tough one to say the least, but I don't think either player should necessarily, or rather in DauT's situation should feel too defeated, because as you said, you load into that game and you know already that a win here would be miraculous.
Yeah, if I don't do damage by minute 9 I'm dead.
Right.
That's kind of it, right?
So I think the question is now, where do you go from here? Obviously, it's going to be map selection for DauT. Does he go for that high tide? Does he go for, if you want to pull it up for us here, or maybe up onto the screen?
Up onto the screen
share
is
the
probably
viewers
the
as
smarter
well.
one, so we can all look at it together.
There we go.
We
Bypass being, I like maybe the bypass Turks play that we were talking about.
Yeah, but then if it didn't work with the Mongols, and then you go onto your little cooking project on bypass with the Turks, and it doesn't work there, then you're really in for a fight.
It's a tough one. We're going to noodle on it. You guys should noodle on it too, while the players do as well. We're going to head to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll jump into game number 2.
And now, a word from our partners.
Eek! A mouse! A mouse!
What is it, dear? Why you rage? Oh, honey. That's no ordinary mouse. It's the Reaper 250. With this mouse in your household, you never have to be scared again.
Yes, the U-Rage Reaper 250, featuring DPI control, advanced ergonomics, RGB lighting, and customizable buttons, is the perfect addition to every competitive household. Why U-Rage? It's all good. Get yours on Mueller.de.
Welcome back to the Noble Apartment Cup for game number 2 between DauT and Vinchester. We said that the players were going to think about it during that commercial break. They've come up with the answer. We're heading to bypass next. Civs still left to be decided and or seen. But it feels obvious that Turks has to be played here.
And it feels Cumans.
Cumans.
Yeah, I've seen Cumans be really, really successful on bypass. Now, we'll see if they are a choice on the 9-bill start here. And we actually have Spanish against Turks. So we have the Gunpowder matchup here.
Unit showdown.
Janissary versus some Kongs, maybe some Supremacy later, which can be really solid on this one.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because this map has gone through iterations, right?
Yeah.
Where of old, the strategy was almost always who can get to that castle in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
First, not so much an option anymore. And so I do wonder what the approach will be for either of these players. Where will that first castle placement be? Is it going to be defensively, look for map control? Is someone going to look for one of those sneaks, bringing a number of villagers forward and looking to break into the base nice and early?
Well, I think one of the strategies people go for now, I mean, you can't build the castle in the middle because it's that sand terrain.
Exactly.
Right? So that's a big change. But one of the strategies is like early stone wall forward against your opponent, just to prevent any sort of villagers coming with a tower, and then they put the castle. Like it's
right.
really, really dangerous if your opponent gets forward there. So a lot of people will just go for the stone wall initially. And another thing about this map, which you used to have to do on the old arena generations, not so much anymore, you got to hold open your gate with a sheep to push in the ostrich or the deer or whatever. It can be super annoying.
I was about to say, admittedly, that's enough to keep me from pushing deer.
Yeah, well, now, I don't know if you were around for old, like, original Age of Empires arena, but sometimes your boars would both be outside.
Exactly.
Your deer would be outside, and like 4 of your sheep.
Right, you're deleting portions of your wall just to get your boars brought in.
And then you're like got a sheep holding open the door.
Yep.
As you're trying to push in a deer, and you're also trying to lure a boar. And then this other maniac somehow awed all the res inside his base, so he had time to send the scout forward.
Right.
And it's a complete disaster.
He's harassing your non-loomed vills.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's stealing some of your resources.
It's not going to happen here.
Not going to happen here. Exactly right. Both players focused on pushing in those zebras for themselves, working towards the feudal age. But as we've seen the approach here, not too much bypass play yet at the tournament, but we have had 1 or 2 games. Definitely because of the inability to place castles in that central bypass portion of the map. We've seen more players leaning towards fast castles and booms. But again, that's where I will be curious to see if either one of these guys kind of shirk the normal strategy to go for something surprising as they reach the castle age.
Well, I actually like the Spanish a lot better if they're going into unique units because they're more mobile and they're faster. So if you're going to threaten the sides or threaten the back, they're getting there twice as fast. If you're going to go, around and try and hit the hunt, they're getting there twice as fast. And if you want to bring them back, they're getting home twice as fast.
Right.
The Janissaries may be stronger with more, oomph behind them and maybe more dangerous later on in the game, but early in Castle Age, I'd really, really prefer the Spanish.
Yeah, they're very committal, right? Because wherever they go, it's like you say, it's going to take them a while to come back.
It might force DauT, and I've seen this before on this map from DauT and from some of the other GL members. Might force them to just go fast castle into light cav to secure the sides, and then boom. And then you go into maybe like cav archers or something later.
Yeah, I mean, light cav for the Turks, I mean, it's such an easy thing to go into, right?
But against Conks, I don't know. I've never seen this Civ matchup, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, so we'll be surprised, just like everybody in chat, to see how this one plays out. Quickly on to Stone here for DauT.
Yeah, so that answers the question, I think. Now, the only other question is where?
Right. Absolutely. Well, and a lot of that, too, is going to be based on the timings, right? Because Vinch has blitzed his way to the feudal age, whereas DauT has taken a much slower approach.
Is DauT going fast imp?
Is 26 enough?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
It's tight. That's tight if you're going to go for it.
It's tight. Yeah, it's tight. Like, and we'll know by how many he shifts onto gold.
Right.
Once he gets to feudal age, but like Vinch is up like 23 villagers. I think it's too tight. It might be too tight.
Yeah, so there go the feudal age buildings. Market blacksmith here for Vinch, following a very traditional fast castle build.
It's just
for
so
this
slow
day
for
and age
DauT.
of Age of Empires. Yeah, but because that's the thing. If this is just fast castle for DauT, we're just going to be constantly questioning why commit to 3 extra villagers. You could get to those TCs. You could get to that. You know,
he has no food for fast sim, so I don't think it's going to be that way. It just we're asking why, when most players are going up 22 population to feudal age. Maybe it's just that clean of a build from Vinchester.
I guess.
Monday?
Yeah.
He's up to castle.
I mean, either way, right? If you intend to be the more defensive player, which maybe is DauT's idea, you know that you have the time before any conks come knocking on your door, right? Due to that travel time, you could invest into a few extra villagers, still get your castle up, you know? So he's probably not too concerned about being punished, quote unquote, immediately for it. But again, he's just going to be behind in reaching that next stage. As you can see, Vinch almost halfway there as the buildings are just now being completed here for DauT.
I'm still looking for ways for this to be a fast imp. I'm looking for ways for this to work for DauT because he's still mining a lot of gold.
He's mining a fair amount of gold. He's got 6 on.
He's got another one coming out to gold as well.
And he's dropping farms.
Another farm coming in. A wood upgrade. Okay. Yeah,
nope. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
There's no way.
The dream is dead.
Unfortunate.
The dream is dead.
Okay, so Vinchester will be much faster. Much, much faster.
Yeah.
Over a minute faster to Castle Age. He will have the stone already for the castle. He can start making his conks already. DauT stayed a little bit longer. His eco is, 300 res collected ahead, which happens when you stay a little bit longer. So maybe that's just premeditated. He wants to take his time getting up, and he knows that Vinchester, because of that sand terrain, can't just come forward and castle drop his face. Right. So he's got some time.
Perfect stone count for the Spanish player. 5 seconds away from the Castle Age. Already bringing the villas off a stone. Okay, he's just going to opt for a central castle here, obviously. That's as far forward as he can place it because of that terrain.
That's so fast, though, that if DauT wants to make a central castle like that, Vinch is already going to have units.
It's true. Yeah, he'd be able to deny it over the wall, so DauT would have to place it even more passively at that. And again, those are only palisade walls. A few conks, and maybe a villa or two coming forward to batter at the walls, and all this could be real ugly.
Where's he going with these villas? He starts chopping wood now. He's got enough stone for the castle. He stopped as soon as he had enough stone. Still 20 seconds away. Vinchester's castle's already going to be up, dude. The conk's already going to be out. And he's got a scout moving forward. If DauT wants to place a castle, I've never seen a DauT castle 1 second into Castle Age before. Yeah. And okay.
I think he will get this castle up simply because he's choosing to place it this far behind the walls. Just one scout, one conk so far aren't going to be able to get through that palisade necessarily quick enough. So all in all, DauT will be safe, but again, he's squeezed for a little bit of space.
He's fine. In hindsight, we look at the resources here. We look at the position Vinchester has with his castle. It's not optimal for DauT, but he is ahead in economy.
Right, it's a good point. If I were to drop you into this game right now and say, which position would you want to be in?
I'd say I like conks.
You'd say you like conks,
Economically, I like DauT's side.
Right.
I think it's okay.
Okay, house wall
Can he
here.
get the house wall down? That's really important. If he does, and he does, and now the Janissaries come out, so they can start picking away at those Kongs, but Vinchester with some great micro. Conquistadors only seem to hit their shots when they're at max range.
Right. Who's got better aim? That's the question. A Janissary or a Kong?
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
This is just so much damage.
I mean, that's your Vil lead. That's the Vil lead gone.
Oh god.
Just like that. And then some, even.
Yeah, DauT's trying to cut him off, and he's actually getting his shots, but the Kongs snipe another villager. Great micro from Vinch.
Yeah, Vinch, by the way, one of the most enjoyable players to listen to talk about Age of Empires.
Well, he doesn't stop.
Well, yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that his mind is just
As an
constantly
interviewer,
going.
like,
Yeah, exactly.
finally.
It's a very easy subject to interview. But also the way that he specifically thinks about the game. I know that he puts such a high priority, yes, on micro, which is not going to come as a surprise to anybody, but he says what he calls it macro micro, which is how you take the fight, not the actual movements of the fight, but the choice in how you approach the fight and take the engagement. And I think in a way we saw it there, where he has the perfect understanding of the reload time and the fire speed of the Janissaries, so he understands now how he has to move in order to take full advantage in a 2 Conk versus 5 Janissary situation.
So I think DauT is trying to go imp. I mean, he's massing resources. He's not making Janissaries.
Okay.
He's only got 2 on wood. He's got 28 villagers. So it's not good, right? After losing against those 2 Konks that were in there, the macro micro from Vinchester that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to try and make the best of it, and a good way is to push through the middle. But I guess he's decided against that now. He's banking resources, and now he adds more Janissaries, more monks as well.
It's quite peculiar. A little indecision, perhaps, right?
Maybe.
You know, as soon as the plan didn't go.
Or maybe he feels like he just needs more to keep himself alive. He's still banking a lot of food.
He definitely is. 14 on food, still remaining on 1 TC. 14 on gold as well. Let's see the dance, though. I mean, once again, Vinch is just styling in this moment.
Honestly, though, I've seen Konks miss so many shots up close here. It's probably better to be, like, right next to it. Watch, this guy's going to miss a shot at some point. If he doesn't miss...
He made you a liar.
What
he
on
made you
earth
a liar.
are you
He heard you talking. He heard you talking ish, man.
Mine missed from that distance. Mine missed from that distance. This is rigged. 500 gold now in the bank for DauT. 440 food. Like, he's thinking about going in. He's still got 4 on wood.
Yeah, it strikes me as just non-committal, right? Like, we haven't decided. I mean, we have decided. It's clear that he is slowly working his way towards fast imp, but as more Konks arrive, he's going to feel the need to produce a couple more Janissaries in order to defend, and that delays the fast imp all that much more. We have a second TC going up for Vinchester.
They always hit the units that are... That's a miss. It's always hitting the units that are moving. Like, it never hits the easy shots. I just have a thing about these sort of shots.
Yeah, I'm with you.
How did that guy come all the way through the front? Where did he come from?
That's gotta be just the gather point, right?
Yeah, he went through the castle, meandered through the eco, just to meet up with his friends. That dude is a homie. Like he just went
they go.
Right through, and the castle's not doing anything. Speaking of missing shots.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, but this could be a possible conversion here. Okay, and a delete in the end. I mean, so often we talk about, right, in a quote-unquote losing position, you know, down in Vil count, maybe even or less than in military, monks can sometimes be the saving grace, and particularly against a unit like the Conquistador. Maybe that's DauT's way out of it.
You see the struggle here with him trying to get to imp? Like,
he's so tough.
He's been limping his way.
That's what I mean.
Slowly towards it.
Right? He banks 150 food, then he sees an extra Conk arrive, so he's like, okay, I gotta make a Janissary, minus 65.
I need one more monk.
Okay, I need one more monk. Oh no, okay, back up to 900 food. It does look like he's just about to get there.
So close. He's so close, man. He's so close. And Vinchester's not close. And if you get Trebs, like, I don't think you want bomber cannons here. I think you definitely want Trebs.
Yep.
You can push to that middle area. Bomber cannons are just too susceptible to the Konks, basically.
Right. And that is the one thing that Turks, right, with Janissaries are very good at. A concentrated push where you force your opponent to respond to you.
Yeah.
You're no longer chasing the Konks. You're saying, you have to come fight me or I'm going to take your base.
But Vinch is doing a good job. This is what you need to do against something like that, right? I don't know if he senses the fast imp or if he's just like, whatever, there's free food out there. But going a long distance away from your eco, shifting your eco everywhere, will make it really difficult to kill you off.
All right, well, Imp is on the way. 2 minutes to go. We've got more upgrades coming in here for Vinch. Wheelbarrow, bloodlines, just to make those conquistadors a little bit stronger, a little bit tankier. I think Vinch right now is actually, he's kind of thinking about it. He's like, did he run out for a TC? Probably not. I'm looking at the score. It's got to be fast Imp at this point.
The score is
It's just...
Yeah, the score is not good. That's for sure.
Okay, does manage to snipe another monk, retreats to the safety of the hill. Now, of course, those are still charged monks, right? As long as they keep following.
He kind of likes this, though. Like, if they follow and then they disengage, he can show up with the other military. He can loop back on this. Like, he can pull these way out of position. I think DauT just realized he was getting a little too deep in the desert.
Exactly.
And decided to come back. Kongs, once again,
is that a hole? Oh!
Is there? There's no.
Oh, there's not.
There's
okay.
not. That's a brown tree.
Woof.
But don't worry, they hit the shots at maximum range, so the villagers are all going to die on the wood line.
30 seconds till Imp comes in. We are up to 12 Janissaries. That's a decent number. Of course, you're going to have to stop the Janissary production in order to produce the Trebs.
Yes.
And that's always an interesting balance.
I like the fact that he saved up the wood. He tossed a little bit more on wood. So often people go, like, really stretch the Imperial Age time, and then they don't have enough for Trebs.
Yeah.
A nice snipe there from Vinchester on the monk. He gets another Janissary. But finally, DauT gets a Conquistador.
Woo.
And he's dead.
Yeah.
I'm surprised DauT went for a bomber cannon as well.
He did. Okay.
I guess he could just squeeze it in. Feels like Trebs are just better here.
Yeah, I mean, they hit so much harder, right? And again, you need to do damage, and you need to do damage fast.
They can't be killed by the conks.
Right.
Like, not easily, anyway. You have your Janissaries there. The bomber cannons can just be sniped.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, the scary thing here for DauT is even if he does successfully start pushing through the middle, we've set up a secondary and third base.
Yeah.
And they're well protected way off to the south and the west side of the map here. The conks, again, harassing from the back. We do finally have the Treb and the Bombard Cannon on the field, so I'd look for them to roll forward, and we can see just now starting to engage the castle on the other side of the map from Vinchester.
Yeah, Monk pushing him back. Bombard Cannon coming forward. The castle is being repaired, so Vinchester is trying to buy himself some time. Handcart even.
I was going to say, he's buying himself some time just for more Castle Age eco, which is
exactly.
incredible.
And he's kind of banking a little bit of gold, a little bit of food. I think we're in the process right now of Vinchester deciding whether he wants to beat this with all-in Castle Age or whether he wants to go in Imperial Age himself. They're both an option.
Exactly.
How far ahead he is.
Yeah, nearly double the eco count, 39 to 76.
That's why you don't make bomber cannons.
Oof.
Right there. That's why you don't make bomber cannons. That's why you make Trebs. Because that guy just died, and it's more expensive than the Treb.
Yeah, and again, Vinch is doing such a great job of forcing a large number of the Janissaries to sit in the back of DauT space, right? DauT wants all of them to be right here protecting these Trebs and these Bombard Cannons, but instead, another cannon will go down.
Don't make bomber cannons! Sorry.
Sniped in the end. Oh, and while the unit control for Vinch is so good.
They're on
I pulled his attention to the front. Now I dive into the back. I attack the wood line. The villagers are on the run. The eco KD is 15 to 0, Dave. 15 to 0 in this game.
And Vinch just takes this fight. He just gets nice and close. He snipes the monk, and he takes that fight. And it's like, okay, I lose some conks, but I know that every Janissary here is like the biggest investment of
and you can't replace it. Yeah, you can't replace it at this point.
Great job from Vinch. I mean, the build was way better to get to Castle Age fast, and then he gets him with those conks, and DauT just had way too much faith in his castle clearing those conks up, and he kept the villagers on the gold. He lost like 5 vills.
Yeah.
It just was too much faith. Too much faith in the Janissaries and the castle, and yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're going to roll back to that, the castle placement, which was great defensively, given the fact that Vinch is knocking on your door, but even just a couple houses from there to the wood line, right, in front of the gold, versus trying to wall off after
I think from his perspective, what he would have done in Vinch's shoes, he would have gone all the way around with the conks, and Vinch went in.
Yeah.
So I don't think DauT was expecting that. So that's credit to Vinch, right? Aggression pays off. Making the game messy pays off. And obviously, getting some luck with the Janissary shots just not hitting your conchs as you're dancing back and forth sniping bills.
Yeah, we are sitting in a 2-0 position here in this series. Vinch already has a set in his pocket from yesterday. In my opinion, the best set of the tournament so far. And he just continues to impress me. Man, I am so excited that Vinch is back at NAC after missing out on the previous one. And he looks to be in better form than I've seen him in a very long time.
He's playing very well. And the best thing about Vinch is, like, he plays his own distinctive style of Age of Empires. He has his little quirks, right? He's kind of like Hera in a way. He's kind of like Leary in a way. And then he has weird draft picks like Mr. Yo or ACCM. He's got weird strategies cooked up. Like, Vinch is his own entity. And at his peak, he's extremely entertaining to watch.
And it's one of the reasons why, when he's at his peak, he's such a difficult player to deal with, right?
Yeah.
Because we talk so often about, if you are just a Hera, but less than, right? If you're just, a Viper, but less than, well, you're going to get beat by those guys almost every single time.
But Vinch has so many tools.
If you have your own style, then you actually, at your peak, have opportunities to take some of these big names down. He's already done it with Yo yesterday. He's looking to take down DauT here in blistering fashion, sitting at a 2-0. We are going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll see if DauT can begin to mount that reverse sweep to keep himself alive in the series and, of course, pull a set win towards himself and keep his playoff hopes alive. We'll catch you back here in just a bit.
And now, a word from our partners. Tired of interruptions ruining your moment of peace? Discover true tranquility with the Hammer Bluetooth headphone Passion Voyage. With cutting-edge noise cancellation, immersive sound, and unmatched comfort in every note. Sounds like more Hammer.
Welcome back to the Noble Apartment Cup in game number 3 between DauT and Vinchester. I mean, Vinch has got to just be feeling so chill, so relaxed in this series, because it just feels like everything's gone to plan for him. And while DauT, I think more so in game 1 than game 2, tested him a little bit, again, when it came to the matchup, the actual Civ matchup, there just wasn't much available to him.
So far, he's beat him in the draft. He's beat him in the draft in both games, and now we're going into game number 3. Let's hope that DauT's got something here, and we're going to make our way on to Bedouins. So for DauT, we are going to be playing as the Bengalis, and here's the Cumin pick for Vinchester. A lot of people, when they see this map, they're like, well, what about Cumins? You know, there's a lot of food here. You can get up to fuel H fast. You can add the second TC. And a lot of the times, the answer I give them is like, it really depends how close you are.
Right.
It really depends how much time you have. Because if DauT goes for a castle drop, and you're still making your way up to Castle Age, even though you're 25 villagers ahead, I mean, it's going to be absolutely brutal. And I think DauT can attempt to do something along those lines.
Yeah, and it's we talked about Nineville start and how it warps different, the game itself.
Yeah.
But even how it warps different maps, and Bedouins being one of those as a nomad start, right? Quickly taking stock of where all your villagers are, finding an intelligent TC placement. Obviously, we see Vinch with an amazing wood line.
Super important.
Exactly, finding goats for that additional food income, so you're not relying entirely on shorefish. And then, of course, scouting information, because as you just said, so much of strategy is going to be determined by the location of your opponent. How close in proximity are we actually? Do I need to be aggressive, or do I have time to get to feudal age, drop that second TC, and just go to outboom you to no end?
I mean, one thing Vinchester could do here, if he feels like DauT's going for a fast castle, which, it's DauT, so it is a possibility. Vinchester could not add the second TC early and instead make his way into, like, scouts or an archer range.
Right.
That is the classic counterintuitive play for the Cumins that really catches people off guard when they make assumptions about what the opponent's doing. And without a scout, you have sheep, sure, but they get found out. without a scout, you won't see that coming in time.
No, it's a really good point. So often, right, players will kind of fall into the trap of a civ's gimmick, right? This is what this civ is unique for, so I do it. And exactly, you can throw that curveball, go for the early feudal military units, and then say click up to Castle Age and build that second TC on the way.
Or even go full feudal.
Right.
Build a second TC, and then your opponent's stuck there in a corner, even though they're in Castle Age. They're surrounded by your army, and you're still booming.
Yeah, and your eco's wildly protected because you have 2 TCs as opposed to just one that you're trying to
So
work.
many options with humans, and that's why, like, if you talk to Hera, what's your least favorite civ to play against? Humans. Like, Nikov, what's your least favorite civ to play against? Humans. You know, Hart, who do you not like to play against? Humans.
Yeah. Well, so then we might be, singing the same song at the end of this one. That the draft here for Vinch really seems to have worked out, at least the way he wanted it to, right? We'll see if it results in a third and final victory in the shutout over DauT, as we already have the click up to the feudal age here for Vinch. Another boar coming in for DauT at the top of the map.
See when DauT clicks up, because I feel like he's going to go for a fast cap. The Palisade.
Let's go.
So the house trick. Go DauT. Surely he's not going to lose that villager.
No way.
Never happens. Bro, DauT. Let's go.
There it is. Lovely, lovely. We have the click here for DauT after this villager finishes, so it's 20 vil up for him, 18 vil up for Vinch.
Okay, so he's not going to get caught off guard then. Unless he can make a fast castle work with 20 vils. He will get 2 additional ones, but they won't have gathering time. I'm kind of on 9 vil start Bedouins. It's really deceptive. You can't go by normal population counts.
Right.
Because the fish comes in so quick, right? But I think he can't make it work.
Yeah, I'd be curious, again, on the scouting information, right? Because it's not just about the TC locations.
Yeah, it's
barracks. Okay, barracks is going to be the call.
Cool.
But, we're also looking for those extra mills. Look at the walls coming up already for Vinch.
I mean, he walls off the sides, and then he TCs like another open angle.
Yeah.
Like over there.
Oh, man.
Right?
So he's just about to be, he's building a resort for himself.
Exactly. And as a man who visits many fishing resorts, it's quite a nice one, actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot more fish than the ones that I go to.
I think Vinch has been kind of a world traveler recently as well. So it's fitting with the theme. But the second TC is already on the way, having blitzed his way to the feudal age. More vills in the queue. Plenty of food to produce out of those 2 TCs. And as his opponent reaches the feudal age in 10 seconds, that's when he'll start thinking about any pressure that might come his way.
Like, it can't be scouts, right? He's got the food for scouts, but like, what, against second TC, scouts just feel so weird. Unless you know where their fish is and
maybe
you can snipe
the top
villagers.
Fish, but does he actually? He doesn't know about that.
He doesn't know about that. No, so he's just going to get himself some information. Maybe this is what we're talking about. He doesn't want to get caught off guard, by something.
One
so
or two
he's
scouts.
Go for some scouts. He'll go for a spearman. He still has a decent amount of resources in the bank, and I'm really wondering how many scouts he queues up. Is it 3? Is it just 1?
I feel like it's such a tough situation because I feel like it has to be 3 because if you feel the need to do damage, right? Again, against humans, knowing that very likely you're already getting outproduced 2 villagers to 1.
I hate playing against humans. I feel DauT's pain right now.
This is so tough.
It's like, what is he doing, man? Like, is he just booming? Is he walling up? Is he going military? He's about to find out. So at least the questions will be answered to some extent.
Yeah.
But he'll run maybe right into a TC. Oh,
okay.
Finds the villager on the blacksmith.
And no loom, no loom.
Nice job, DauT. Okay, there we go.
What? Okay.
Don't freak out. He's got it under control. He's the Lord.
He's the Lord and Savior. All right, 1 Vil snipe here. Loom forced. And now the blacksmith denied, at least for the time being. It will be a market being placed close to the TC
That's
here.
an annoying blacksmith to know.
Absolutely. That's a lot of wood invested at the time.
And it's a long way away.
Exactly. And you don't have any military buildings.
Look at Vinchester's resources. Even with that second TC, he was thinking about castle.
He was.
He's going to have to make another blacksmith, and it's a tower coming forward
Okay,
from
DauT.
That was an insane blacksmith denial.
Okay,
we might be
DauT.
delaying the castle age from Vinchester. He was thinking 2 TC boom into fast castle. I'm on stone. Like, I'm going to make a castle, and DauT is just pressuring him in feudal age. Loom coming in for
Wow,
DauT.
perfect tower placement as well.
Doesn't
just
see it.
outside of vision. Oh, we might have a game on our hands,
He had to
folks.
make another blacksmith.
We might have. Yeah, he did. He did. And he's still lacking the resources just slightly. he's about to hit it, and he'll get the click up, but that's 2 minutes and 30 seconds that he'll have to survive before even reaching the castle age. Again, not a single military building yet for Vinch. So it's
within range of the. Is it within range? No, it's not within. Oh, it is.
It is.
It is within range of the TC. Damn. It's always unclear when you're on the diagonal side whether it's actually within range. So DauT kind of messed up a little bit there. That tower is going to go down really, really quickly. This one still not seen, but not within range of the TC this time.
Yeah, not seen and well protected from the scouts as well, in case Vinch did go forward to scout it with villagers. But I love this aggression out of DauT. It's what he needs to do up against a player who's played
and another tower
in a fairly greedy fashion. Let's go.
Tower on the gold, tower on the stone, tower formerly on the woodline, and Vinchester still hasn't killed the tower on the woodline. He didn't want to sacrifice the idle time. He is up to the castle age, and he's going to have some problems here. He's going to have some big problems. He can't even produce from both of these TCs soon.
Oh. I mean, interestingly, he's opted not to finish killing that tower. Values the working time of the villagers over the idle time in contesting that tower placement. But once again, we have multiple towers going up. The surround has begun.
Vinch, if you wait till Castle Age to place a siege workshop, I'm going to be so annoyed. Because you can just make it right now.
Yeah.
He can make it right now.
He doesn't have the wood yet. Or he just sold his wood.
Yeah, he just sold it.
He sold all of his wood.
Yeah. So is he thinking about castle? He's thinking castle.
Okay.
That's what he's doing. He's buying the stone. He's got the villagers on the stone there. He's going to place on one of these towers, probably near the gold, I think, so that you can get access to it.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
And then he'll take that out and he'll have kip checks.
Okay. So this is a castle to deal with one singular tower. That's the position that Vinch is in.
Yes. Get yourself kip checks.
No, 100%.
And you can feel a little bit better about yourself.
You're just committing 30 villagers to building it. Again, DauT with another great tower here to even threaten the gold for a little bit longer. Just making a mess of this game, exactly as he needs to. On the way to the castle age himself, 2 minutes and counting. Does see that castle go up and is now dropping a blacksmith of his own. But you know, for all the talk of the resort space that Vinch had built for himself, it's a rather small resort at this point.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of limited for sure. DauT has built that tower. I think once Bodkin is in, that tower might be within range, which is unfortunate. But at the moment, I mean, Vinchester has one food in the bank, so I don't think Bodkin's really a priority for him. 43 villagers for Vinchester, still 35 for DauT. He'll get an additional 2 when he gets to Castle Age, his Bengalis, which kind of keeps him in the hunt.
Oh, and this is great scouting.
I mean, he sees the kip checks, and he's got the resources to add TCs when he gets to castle.
Exactly.
Or castle.
But it's very important, and even using this final scout to lead the kip checks away, right?
Look at him.
This is fantastic.
Come on, DauT. Look at him.
Give me that jiggle.
Jiggle.
Ugh.
Okay. Nice
hey,
range.
Bought himself some time. Bought himself some time.
Dude, these towers are still annoying. Like, there's one on the stone, there's one on the gold. DauT, I think, is going to get a little greedy here. He was initially going maybe towards a castle. I think it's TCs first from him.
Okay. Monastery and TC placement.
Yeah.
Definitely got to be worried about those kip checks coming forward. I see them on the map now. There's 3 of them. They will find the TC, the original one, at that. But I do believe that second TC will go up without being threatened too much.
I think kip checks will struggle. Like 3 of them are going to struggle to kill a Bengali monk before he gets the conversion. With the extra Pierce armor.
Right, and just how close they have to get to engage.
I think the monks will hold them off for a while until he's got enough stone to go for a castle, and I'm not certain on the Ratha versus Kipchak matchup.
I couldn't say that I'm majorly experienced with that one.
In like the range battle, I think the Ratha will probably lose in large numbers because the Kipchak are just faster to use, but the melee version of the Ratha is so much more versatile than the Kipchaks are.
Exactly. Yeah, just reminiscing over that blacksmith that was never built. 3rd TC on the way for Vinch, but it was DauT who actually got to the 3rd TC first. Still an eco lead here, though, for Vinchester because he's been working with Doubleville production for a very long time. But the triad, the triangle of red TCs has been completed with the monastery in the middle.
Yeah, those villagers up north. Still can't see them. Still can't see them. No. Like, those should be dead a long time ago, but unfortunately...
You know how you know? Is you check the food count on that fish. I mean, it's something you would never do. But
yeah.
It's like, wait a second.
Oh, he can convert one.
Yeah.
That's a big swing. That's a 2-villager swing.
It could be massive.
Never mind. That's not a 2-villager swing. That's a 2-villager swing.
Right. Yep. You'll recoup the losses of the vills right here. Does go for the conversion, manages to snag one, and will pick up the
all in one day's work. Yep, all in one day's work. Kipchek's now coming in again. The big problem for these units, and the monks are going to get the conversions here as Vinchester needs to back away. Big problem with Kipcheks, if you're facing them, is that they feel so fast. They're really, really quick. They fire really quick. A player with good micro can be really annoying. If you're playing with them, it feels like they're doing no damage. That's the issue, especially without Balkanero.
Right. Yeah, and still waiting for that one to come in. Food count too low here for Vinch as he's trying to keep up the Vill production, and even at times struggling to keep that third Vill in the queue. 19 on food for him, 24 here for DauT, going for a couple monk upgrades, and some Town Watch. Love that on a map like Bedouins. Love that against a mobile unit like Kipcheks, right? You just want to keep track of them. You want to be aware of where they're going to be threatening at any given moment. Even a 4th TC now being dropped for DauT. Probably pretty aware that he's at least slightly behind still in the eco.
First eco upgrade of the game.
Ooh!
First eco upgrade of the game. Bowsaw coming in for DauT. Still no Bowsaw for Vinchester.
Yeah. No, I mean, that double bit axe, that could be huge.
Or sorry, double bit axe. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was one step ahead of myself, you know?
Exactly.
Shut up, Tristan.
Wait, we can hear the cackling.
I can I can hear it from
Colonel
the other.
Sanders.
Jeez. Hi.
All right, Monks going down. Does get another conversion, though, keeping the Kipchek numbers relatively low. 4 Monks here for DauT. Is the micro there? Is at least able to train 2 conversions on the 2 different Kipcheks, but the mobility serves Vinch once again, and away he goes off into the darkness. A 5th TC now out on the outer side of the map here.
I mean,
for
like,
DauT.
Kipchek's just, they're just not good here. They're just not good. The tower is going to get ranged. Horsecaller and double bit axe are on the way. And against 5 TCs, I just fail to see the damage that the Kipcheks are going to do, unless he's using them to protect his villagers to come forward with a castle.
And we do have 6 Vills on stone, 500 stone in the bank. So it looks like an idea that Vinchester is entertaining at this point. I mean, we've gotten to, a relatively even game state, right? At this point, how do you view the matchup as it scales from here into the Imperial Age? I mean, again, 5 TCs for Bengalis. They hit the Imperial Age. That's a bunch more Vills.
I think Bengalis can be really good here if they just play trash units.
Yeah.
Just Skirm Halb is decent, right? And then the monks as well. But the problem for DauT is that he's got 5 TCs and somehow half of his eco is still extremely exposed, right? He's everywhere.
Right.
He's got the villagers that the Kipcheks can chase after. He's going to lose a few of them, but he might push them away with conversions. The Kipcheks are taking 5 weeks to kill villagers that aren't doing anything. And Vinchester will need to run away. Meanwhile, there's another raid on the other side, taking down a monk, and Vinchester is running away. There's enough stone now from Vinchester for a castle. Do you have enough?
He believes he does. He absolutely believes that he does. We see the aggressive forward castle placement here just in front of that first TC. The villagers on the way. Now, if DauT is paying attention, he would have seen them beginning to make the trek, and a lot of those Kipcheks are out of position.
Don't worry, we've got a singular Kipchek from DauT over here. It's going to attack the foundation.
Yeah, it was close. Yeah, tough one. Tough one. If only it was a siege Kipchek.
Okay, 2 Kipcheks converted on the little screamer tracking, and the monks are still chasing them. So Vinchester will get his Kipcheks converted. He will need to run away with this army, but he's perfectly satisfied with that because he knew where the monks were, and they weren't near his castle that was coming forward.
So the castle does go up, and obviously it secures a bit of map control right in the direct center of the map. But it doesn't actually threaten too much of what DauT is working with. Already completely vacated this area.
It will once he's imp, and Vinchester's definitely thinking about Imperial Age. DauT's thinking about it too, but DauT has no walls. He has no castles.
No military, other than monks.
Monks, that's it. And the imp upgrades for the monks will be nice, but the Kipcheks are still running around. Mobility versus 0 mobility.
Yeah, this has been a constant conversation. Range and mobility together. Individually, both wildly powerful traits. Together, it's just a superpower.
Okay, so DauT is targeting 2 kip checks right now with his monks as Vinchester keeps running through, and Vinchester has to be tired about, you know, getting targeted by monks, but DauT has to be tired of these kip checks just running through his eco at will, and he goes into skirms.
Yep, archery ranges come up. So as Dave predicted, the skirm response, but we do see Imperial Age already on the way. Devotion coming in, that will be big against the largely monk composition that DauT's working with right now. Thumb Ring as well, so plenty of upgrades for these kip checks to make them all that much more powerful. There's the resources right now for the Imp click. Expect to see that in just a moment here from DauT.
Where did he click up from is the question. Which TC?
Okay,
That one.
that's safe enough.
Yeah. I mean, there is a timing window where Vinchester could potentially get a treb out. And
Yeah, but I like that. But that castle at least.
Heresy. Wow, bro, you're losing kip checks to conversions. It's not that deep. I don't know.
That's such an investment. Yeah.
That's a big investment. That is 1,000 gold.
That is absolutely wild. Now, again, he does have the better of the economies. He did manage to sneak in a couple of upgrades, right? Bo saw horse collar for himself. He's had wheelbarrow working for some time, but more vills will go down for DauT. 2 minutes away from the Imperial Age himself. Still only 3 skirmishers on the field. While Elite Skirmisher is being researched, he has just fletching. No armor upgrades, no ballistics yet, so he's not prepared to take a fight for quite some time.
There are many ways to play against kip checks, and this might be the absolute worst one, where you leave your entire eco open. And what happened over there? 4 monks going down to the kip checks, I believe, near the lake. The skirmishers are coming out. Like, everything is open here. There's not a single wall. The castle is not in a good spot to protect your eco.
This might be the most lopsided KD of the entire tournament. 48-3 and 30-2 in the eco KD. And it is all because of what you're talking about. It's the mobility of the kip checks and just the lack of protection, the lack of respect for that mobility, in a way.
I mean, a few walls would have gone a long way.
Absolutely.
A few walls would have gone a long way. Maybe some more condensed eco, right? DauT is going to get 10 villagers back when he gets to Imperial Age, which I guess is great, but the villagers are still dying on the front side here. The monks are just too slow to catch any of this stuff, and the Trebs are already knocking at the door.
Yeah, 20 Vil lead. Treb already making quick work of that TC. Yes, Imp does come in, immediate block printing for those monks. So still going to try to make good use of them, and obviously having that extra range will be massive against a low-range unit like the Kipchek. Elite Skirmishers as well, but still barely upgraded Elite Skirmishers. I mean, if you recognize these upgrades, you could take this fight, and we already have some light cav out onto the field. No armor, exactly.
No armor whatsoever, and the light cav are going to push all of this stuff back. They're good against the skirms. They're good against the monks. Really great play from Vinchester with the mobility usage from these Kipcheks. He comes in to snipe these. Not enough skirmishers to push those away. He's just diving deep against these monks. The Kipcheks are dying, but they're taking out all those valuable gold units there from DauT. And DauT is down to 0 monks. He went from 12 to 0.
Exactly, 12 to 0 monks. And yeah, we're trading off Kipchek's lives, but we've also built up to a light cav number of 12 right here. And that's enough for DauT to call the GG. Doesn't have the answer. What a clean series here from Vince. Just, I mean, I already said yesterday was an incredible series from him. It feels like he ramped and leveled up from there.
Yeah, also, I think 3 of DauT's strategies, well, the third one, we saw potential.
Yes, absolutely.
But the transition from that was not good. I think Vinchester's going to be very happy that he came up against the DauT today rather than the DauT we've seen in the past.
Exactly. And it's cool to see Vinch kind of showcase as well his mind in the draft. Right? Again, giving himself these kinds of options for each of these maps.
It felt like he had the superior civ every single time.
Exactly. And that doesn't happen by accident, right? That shows a player who's studied the maps, studied the civs, has really thought about different answers, different matchups, and practiced those matchups to ultimately land on, okay, given these admin bans. That's the other thing, too. We don't maybe talk enough about how much of a skill it is.
It's insane.
To react, to deal with.
Go do a mock NAC draft against your friend. Like you did one against T-West.
Yeah, and we were largely doing it just to get more familiar with the format than to like try and see who would beat each other. And we were just struggling to keep things in order, right? Like it is not an easy thing to approach. And then again, you add on the pressure of the environment, you add on the intensity of the matches, and I mean, again, it's not a position I envy. I'm glad I'm on this side of the desk talking about it than trying to execute it.
I mean, Vinchester is just so good with it. And like I said at the beginning of the day, he's practicing probably more than anyone that I've seen, at least when I'm here. And he's got notes for every single circumstance. So really impressive stuff. Vinchester's just getting set up over there for the interview. We'll bring it to you in a minute, but what an impressive start for him. 3-2 over Mr. Yo, 3-0 over DauT. He's overcome 2 legends already.
Yeah, it's been a blistering start here for Vinchester so far as he has taken his seat in the winner's interview. We're going to go to a very quick break while Dave goes and slots over to ask him some questions. We'll catch you back here in just a bit.
And now, a word from our partners.
Have you heard of the 21st century?
Why settle for clacks, clunks and jams? Say goodbye to sticking keys. And welcome to the ultra-responsive, quiet precision of the U-Rage Exodus 760 mechanical keyboard. With our Timu red switches for ultra-silent key presses, anti-ghosting with N-key rollover, and 1 millisecond response time, this keyboard will keep up with your fastest moves. Whether you're gaming or working, you'll enjoy precise control at the speed of light. Get yours on Mueller.de. In case you rage, we do not cover costs for damaged screens or unfinished castles.
Hey! 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 Hey!
Are you looking for true surround sound? Well, you're in luck, pal. The U-Rage Sound Zed 400 gaming headset gives you real 360-degree surround sound. With features like pinpoint precision, crystal clear bass, and immersive audio quality, you can end your losing streak. Get ready for sound so lifelike you'll swear you're on the battlefield. With this headset, you'll hear every enemy approach, every call, every detail, only without the clamor of villagers. Gamers, listen to you rage. Get yours on Mueller.de.
Welcome back, everyone. I have Vinchester here, winner of that set, 3-0 against DauT. And honestly, before we get into the games, it felt like to me that you kind of won those games in the draft heading into it. Did it feel the same to you?
I think DauT still had a really good draft. Maybe I didn't expect Mongols on the first map. I think Byzantines looks like a perfect counter. But yeah, well, it depends on how he practiced. But from my perspective, there is still some ways for him to pick his civs, so it would be fine. But yeah, I think I had really good strategies. And of course, this is advantage of the host for the last map, because humans, even with my mistakes, looks unstoppable.
Do you feel like that's something you've gotten a lot better at, or is that something you were always good at, like building the draft and getting prepared against specific opponents? Is that something that's improved for you?
Actually, that's a good question, because I think lately when I had bad results in a tournament, I was completely outdrafted most of the times, or at least my strategies were not good enough. Like, I might have a good draft from my perspective, but my opponent just had the better civ and result, or at least better plan to counter what I do. So I think lately I had it more balanced. After this one, I was not confident too much, because I thought, like, okay, in some prospects there can be Mayans against Hindustani matchup, which is not great. Also humans, I'm not sure. You know, it's like DauT second time don't ban humans as B player, and I thought, like, okay, he must be has something prepared for sure. And so you're not confident in humans as well, and result, yeah, it's not confident at all. But yeah, I think that was good.
So coming into today, did you think it was going to be a 3-0? Were you confident in yourself in winning, or did you think it was going to be really close?
Yeah, I think DauT is not the easiest opponent for me. I usually have really tough games with him, and sometimes even he like 3-0'd me in some tournaments. So yeah, I don't think that I have really good score against DauT, and of course 3-0 is not expected here for me. So yeah, I think I was liking some things, and as you said, he can misdraft and pick civilizations. I picked much better.
So we're going to go into some highlights here. Game 1, I believe, was on Citadel, which I totally took the credit for because you chopped one tree in the middle. So I'm very, very happy that you went there. Game 1 was on Citadel. It was Mongols for him against Byzantines. I think on a map like this, you're looking at it as the Mongol player thinking, I don't really want to go late game. I want to do damage early.
Exactly.
What did you do to prevent him from getting that head start?
To be honest, I think he had a really amazing start. He killed my fish. Well, it's me who should be doing stuff on the water because my fire ships are better. Also, he went for some archers, which found a really good value. And this is something I should not allow because I'm going skirmishes. Byzantines, come on. So, yeah, even in this fight, he got great value, and I think he was miles ahead. And at some point here, when I was starting to build my market, first foundation, I realized, like, okay, if DauT build a market, salt stone, and going Castle Age Lancers, I must be dead. And I was like, not even seen ways how to do it, but once I saw scouts and I know that I'm on the way to Castle Age and I'm first to sell all the thing, I thought like, okay, even if I'm behind with economy, I still have better civs, especially in Castle Age, because Mongols basically has no bonuses and they have really good army comp. So everything should be good, and also fish is kind of fixing my economy issue. So in result, I felt pretty confident once I reached Castle Age earlier in this game.
Yeah, you're just worried about the timings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The feudal age timing, the castle age timing. And honestly, you did a really solid job, not only expanding to the middle, but also teching into Paladin, which is still a really good unit despite missing the upgrades, and really good against whatever he was making here, which was what? Trebs, Skirms, and Cav Archers.
Yeah, exactly. It's mostly range units, castles, bracer, and stuff, everything shooting at you. And Byzantines has the less armor. So basically, those are really strong paladins against arrows, what you can see on the screen. So yeah, I think that I not misplayed, but I should not be that relaxed because I knew that I'll win the game.
You were waiting too.
Yeah,
until you had the you're waiting in the castle. You're like, I'm gonna show him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he knew too, but of course it's like warm up, first game and stuff, so everything okay. But anyway, I think that I need to play it cleaner. Like I needed to go with better ranges, more buildings, better skirms. So at some point I was a little bit angry on myself that I didn't go for cleaner gameplay there.
Well, we make our way onto bypass, and honestly, I think this game was dictated. We're seeing the results of his fast Imperial, and you sniped the bomber cannons, right? The game was probably dictated by those 2 conquistadors you got in
exactly
early.
On the start game.
Do you have like a system for Conquistador Micro, or are you like all of the rest of us and just hoping that your shots hit?
Yeah, same. I think I was really lucky in this one. Well, still with Kongs you need to out-micro Janissars, but besides that, anyway, I was super lucky with the shots, especially on early stage, but not with first 2, actually. If you think that first 2 were super ambitious, I think no, because really often I was close to the wheels, so that was totally fine. So yeah, I think that's what build order gave me. Like those 2 Kongs, and I think from there game was a little bit like he also always was on a back foot.
So this game, you were talking about it, even though he did a really good job early.
Yeah, I think amazing
really
one.
Good.
I think I was saved by amount of ship which I was lucky to found before, and probably even some I stole from him on the start, like it was randomly, but still I saw some ship moving towards my base and I took it. So he actually made a really good job with those 2 towers around. I was like, okay, I see he's going on gold. That's fine. I'll build castle, you know, and defend my gold back. But when I saw that there is another tower coming back on top, I was really nervous. So I needed to sell everything. And this is exactly the point where I think sheep were really important because I had food to sell. Otherwise, I would just not get enough stone and your castle edge. Okay, that's good. Continue. Like without anything with 500 stone and nothing else. So I was really lucky with how everything went there.
Yeah, I think it was a really good opening for him. But like you said, another Civ that you got in the draft, it snuck through. And another good Civ matchup for you, even with all the damage he did. So going into your next set, Vinchester, you're 2-0. Are you going to continue to put the hours of practice you're putting in? Or are you just going to let it ride? Like, are you still planning for every single matchup that you're coming into?
Yeah, for sure. I hope that I'll continue to show the good results. I think today I played much better mechanically compared to yesterday. Bless you. Compared to yesterday. So, yeah, I think in general, I'll continue to do the same, hoping for the best and trying to show the best Age of Empires ever. That's what we came here for.
Well, congratulations, 3-0 against DauT. I mean, you can never look down on that one. That's a great result. You never know what's coming from him, as you said. And I wish you the best in the next rounds. We are going to get into our next series soon. We're actually going to toss it over back to Dash.